Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you again for tuning into the Mylan Murphy Experience. I just want to first off say thank you, everybody, for listening to the first one. I got a lot of good feedback from it, and I got a lot of ideas from that, so I appreciate you guys listening and leaving me emails, sending me texts, calls, etc. So I really appreciate that. I'm going to cut to the chase, and basically, since you guys already know what this is, it's just me. It's going to be audio, it's going to be video as well, but just me giving daily insight on, just daily topics that you go through, and all this is completely me just talking. Like literally right now I'm just in my room getting ready to go over this with you, so it's not scripted. I don't get it from anywhere. I have something I wrote down like on my notebook, just a little outline so I don't forget the main points I want to tell you, but other than that it's just me just talking to you guys. So I want you to know, it's not something where it's so scripted and, I'm just going to sit here and talk to you. If I mess up, I mess up. It's nothing, nothing more than that. But like I said, I got a lot of good feedback. It was pretty ironic because some people had gave me different topics that they wanted me to do the next one over. But the most common one, it was weird. I wasn't expecting this out of any topic. The most common one people wanted me to talk about was decision making. I got a lot of people that gave me some scenarios in their lives, but they basically said that they have trouble or they need some type of advice when it comes to decision making, or deciding on what's right, what's wrong, etc. So really quick, I'm just going to touch over decision making. That's what the topic of this Mylan Murphy Experience is going to be. The way I look at decision making, I see it as something that it's very simple, but at the same time complex. Decision making could be such a huge factor in one's life because every decision that you make, no matter if it's the smallest decision or the biggest decision, every single decision that you make in your life has some type of impact, consequence. It leads to something later on in your life. So decisions are very, very, very important. And basically, I think a lot of people overestimate the importance of decision making. So yeah, you may be listening to this right now and you'd be like, well, I don't feel like hearing them talk about decision making. I know how to make my own decisions. Okay, that's completely fine. You can feel that way. But at the same time, I do know a little something that, see, like I told you, that was my phone in the background, but I'm just standing in my room. But like I told you, at the same time, decision making is complex. I mean, it is a simple task in a lot of people, but this is the problem because I used to be like this. If you don't listen to other people, then that's where there's an issue, and you develop you're hard-headed, and you don't want to take in the right information, so that there's a problem. But like I said, if you don't want to listen, completely fine. If you want to listen, I hope this helps you. I'm just going to go over 3 basic topics that help me go about my decision-making on a daily aspect, I guess you could say. But number 1, I always, and if you have something that you're going through right now, seriously, you can write this down and go along with me because this is the process that I go through. So number 1, the very first thing that I do, I always weigh out the pros and the cons. So if there's a decision that I have to, and it could be, like I said, small, it could be major, automatically I weigh out the pros and cons. So sometimes I just write it in my head, sometimes I write it in my phone, sometimes I write it down on a piece of paper, depending on the sincerity of the situation. But you need to write out the pros and cons, or somehow, establish the border of what the pros and cons are. So once you know the pros and cons, then you have a good idea. The second step, though, after you've figured out the pros and the cons, is elimination. I mean, it's simple. If one decision has 5 pros and 2 cons, more than likely, you're going to go with the one that there's more pros to. But like I said, it's more complex than this because a lot of times decision-making isn't that easy. It's not as easy as it sounds. So let's say if you have something, and I'll give you a life example that I just went through a couple days ago, but let's say you have something where, both, I guess you could say both pros and cons are almost equal. And it's not that easy to just say, okay, there's more pros, I'm going to go with this decision. Both are equal, and you really are stumped in between the two, like, what decision should I make? That's where this last step comes in. Go with your heart. So number 1, you weigh out your pros and your cons. Number 2, the process of elimination. You see, where you're at as far as, which one has more pros, which one has more cons. Like I said, if it has more pros, it's simple. There you go. If it's equal, then you go with number 3, going with your heart, because that way if you make the wrong decision, as long as you went with your heart, you'll feel better about it, and you can live with that decision. it's different. A lot of times nobody's perfect, so you're going to make the wrong decisions, which is okay. But like I said, as long as you go with your heart, then you can live with it and you feel more safe and secure about it. So, perfect example, really quick, with my life. Recently, I was offered an intern position with a company. By the way, and I'm going to be telling you guys about this stuff because if you follow my vlogs, you'll have an idea because I talk about them. But I have an intern with Brand Me Live, which is brandmelive.com, which is a huge company. You have to go to it, do your research. I don't have time to talk about it. But anyways, I have obviously my global grind position where I'm a blogger and writer for them. And then I have all my businesses as well. With other little gigs and things like that going. So I was recently offered an intern position. And this is a huge, huge decision for me because all of you that know me, I have a lot of stuff going on in my life on a daily basis, from my businesses, from my vlogs, to these other interns, to my global grind positions, to writing, everything. I have so much going on. And I was offered this position. I was extremely excited about it. But at the same time, I had to weigh out the pros and the cons. Now, automatically to you guys, it's going to seem like, what pros and cons are there? You just got an internship. Okay, it's more to that. I already have an internship, first of all. Second of all, this was another one in addition to that. So there were a lot of pros and cons for me. Obviously, some pros were the money. Another pro was, obviously, it's a resume builder. But then, too, some cons were I don't have the time to give them my full talent, my full skills, because I have so much other things that I'm working on, so many other things that I'm working on. I didn't know if I was going to be able to actually do that job to the fullest, to the best of my ability, because I'm so busy with everything else. So one, that was a con as far as time. I wasn't sure if I was going to have the time. Two, I wasn't sure if my mind was going to be able to go that route. Basically, this is what gave me the deciding factor. My heart, it wouldn't be in it. I wasn't going to be able to do this intern and actually have my heart in it and give them my best, because I have all these other businesses that I've committed myself to. So it was going to be more so, I guess you could say, a distraction, or even it was just going to get in the way more so than anything. So that's what I went with. I weighed out the pros and the cons. There were a few more cons than pros. But then after that, the process of elimination, even though there are more cons, they still weighed out about the same. So I'm stumped in the middle, like, okay, I did number one step, weigh out the pros and the cons. Now process of elimination. Yeah, I can eliminate them. There's still more cons, but at the same time, this is a hard decision. But then last, I had to go with my heart, and my heart wasn't in this job, so I had to turn down the intern. And a lot of you guys may think, oh, that sounds crazy. Why would you turn down an intern? But like I said, just those 3 steps of decision-making lead me to that decision. And, I feel great about it. I feel so much more relieved. I would have felt so overwhelmed if I would have taken that job, because I would have, as far as deadlines, a lot of things. So that's just a little example in my life. But just something, to think about, decision-making, those 3 steps. Once again, weigh out the pros and the cons. Process of elimination is number 2. And then number 3, regardless of those 2, always go with your heart. So that's my little intake on decision making. You can keep sending me, and that's for all the people that, send me the message specifically for that. So you can keep sending me messages of what you would like for me to talk about, and I'm going to keep coming out with these. Next one may be video. I don't know. It may still be audio. I may come out with another one tomorrow. I just sort of do it whenever I have the time to do it. But thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. And if you have any more questions or anything, feel free to email me or call me. Feel free to email me. If you have my number, you can do that. You know where to find it. If not, email me and I'll get in touch with you. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Bye.